You guys, they listened. They went with the split push, and it worked out for them. Can they do it 2 more times without teammate finding an answer, though?
I don't know. This next game, what ended up happening in games 1 and 2 was that Complexity was banning out the Nidalee, and now that they're back on red side, I think they have to ban it out again on fear of Calitrolls first picking that for himself.
Yeah, Westeros actually did pretty well on that Nidalee. He ended up getting ahead, pretty far ahead, and he was constantly pressuring, and that allowed Complexity to move up, get that vision in, and when you have that Nidalee constantly pressuring a lane, it's so easy. It's so much easier to move around the map, and you saw Complexity actually grouping up, and it was Team 8 actually on the back foot for a lot of that game.
Yeah, and a big thing with that pressure was that it causes Calitrolls, with somebody who can't hold up against a split push, to TP into a team fight, and even if he wins it, they get a turret. But what ended up was Complexity kept avoiding the fight when the TP would come in, and then Calitrolls would get nothing. He'd blow his TP, Westeros would get a turret, and they kept doing that over and over again until they just had this gold lead that they kept turning into more dragons, and then they eventually got the base.
I also question the really early game, just kind of roaming squad with the Malphite. I understand that he wouldn't have had the best of times laning against a Nidalee, but if you take the flask, you take the TP, you go into lane, you pick up as much farm as you can, blow all your flask stacks back, TP back in, you would have at least, at one point he had 24 CS to 60 something, right? Yeah. I feel like you would have come away with at least a little bit more than that if you had played it that way.
Yeah, he's done it before. He's laned against a Nidalee. I think it was against Curse Academy in the top lane, so he was up against Chris. And he's done it before, and he's come out on top.
He's solo killed.
Gotten solo killed, yeah.
Yeah, they got that 3-buff start, but with that Malphite roam squad, you can't really get much done, and you saw that they weren't really able to get that far ahead early. He was down 20 to 60 CS on the Nidalee, and Nidalee was just getting farther and farther ahead of that Malphite.
As the guys at the desk, though, mentioned, Maple Street, really a shining light there for teammate. We're seeing his more aggressive side come out, which I love to see, kind of the evolution of a player. I mean, a couple times it may have backfired. He got a little aggressive, but he did get that solo kill on Lucian, and it shows that he's willing to, to try and make plays if and when Calitrolls isn't in the position to do so.
Yeah, but we're talking about Maple Street, and a couple things jumped into my head. The one where he solo kills Robert, great for them, but then there was a fight where he did almost nothing. He sat around in that Wraith pit, and I was sitting there counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He did nothing for 5 seconds, 0 DPS, and he was walking around in circles. Like, he literally just dipped into the pit like, oh, no, probably flashed the red wall. I can't do anything, when Robert is pumping damage, and nobody was on Robert at that time.
Yeah, and for a lot of those teamfights, the engages, they seemed very, very forced. Like, Cali was, like, flashing, then, like, pausing, and then ulting. And those kind of engages are exactly what they didn't need. When you're Malphite, it's just like, you just snap of a finger, you ult in when they least expect it. And you go in, and everyone follows up immediately. What you saw that game was, oh, I'm gonna flash, wait a little bit, ult on these two. One of them gets black shielded, and then my team can't follow up. And there was a lot of botched engages on Malphite there, which is the one thing you don't want.
Yeah, tiny bit of hesitation there from Calitrolls. He was feeling the pressure of that split push and forcing to make a play.
The Morgana pick. A very comfortable pick for Bubba I'm aware of. I wonder, though, if it was a prediction of the fact that Malphite was going to be picked. Because they threw 3 top lane bans, and then they chose the Nidalee. The only other time that we have seen Calitrolls play Malphite was into that Nidalee, right? So if you pull that Black Shield out, was that just kind of a preemptive counter saying, go ahead, you can ult in, but you're not going to get all of our priority targets?
Don't know if it was preemptive, but it worked. I can't exactly speak to that, but it definitely worked out there for Bubba.
I also do like the fact, though, that when you do look at Complexity's team composition, they chose, again, comfortable champions. And so you do have that Morgana and the Lucian. It's a very strong lane. If you do land a binding, there's a lot of follow-up damage there by Robert Exley. And it did give him that power spike that, yeah, he did get soloed by Corki in that one fight, but as soon as he picked up the Static Shiv along with the IE, it was pretty much over.
Oh, man, I thought you were going to talk. Now it's just dead air. I talked last time.
Well, but
anyway.
One thing I do want to comment, though, is the fact that Kez has landed on that Lee Sin 3 times. I feel like it might be time for him to switch that up. We go into this next game. I love his Elise. Elise has been up every game, and I feel like he can make plays on it. So it might be time to throw something different at teammate from a different lane, moving on to that red side.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Elise, especially throughout the season, has been his comfort pick. It's been what he's done really good on, and they definitely want to get back into it. Team 8, on the other hand, the Malphite pick, I don't really think that's that effective in Italy, but hopefully they're on blue side this time. Hopefully they'll get the Nidalee pick this time, and Cali Trolls will be able to be the one who does the split pushing.
We also haven't seen the Fizz yet. There's a possibility of that coming up. But yeah, with blue side, as you mentioned, Zirene, they're probably not going to be able to secure that Nidalee for complexity. So then what's their answer there for Westrice? I mean, you try to counterpick on red side, but we've already kind of witnessed that it's very hard to do that against an Nidalee, and if a teammate ends up with that in their hands, could spell the end of it.
Yeah, I don't know what he's been practicing lately because the bans are coming out. There's Alistar, Aurelia's going to be taken off the table. Nidalee is still going to be a ban, most likely from complexity this time, or first picked. So he needs something else in his arsenal. We saw him on the Renekton, was not convinced by that. Maybe the Mundo, but it's not a strong split pusher. So there aren't a lot of options left in the pool.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to go back to that Renekton again, but they do have the counter pick, so I'm pretty sure they'll leave the counter pick to Westrice so Cali Trolls can't go as Fizz, go something unexpected, like bust out a Poppy out of nowhere, and everyone's kind of not expecting it. And I don't think Westrice will be surprised by what Cali Trolls plays this game, but you never know with him.
Yeah, you definitely never know with him, especially when he has the counter pick. But luckily, they don't have it this game on teammate side.
All right, well, my final point will be one that the casters at the desk made already, which is that every series so far in this tournament has been decided either by a team 3-0ing off the start or a team 3-0ing off the back end. My question to you, is that trend going to hold up or is it going to be broken today? Predictions. Zion?
I think teammate's going to be the one challenger team that breaks the curse. I think they're going to take this next game or the 5th game.
Okay.
One of these games.
Yeah, I'm definitely on board the teammate hype train here. Like, I think they're fantastic. I think they have what it takes to just come back from here. They do mess up champion select every now and then. That is something that I've noticed about them. Like, back at Lone Star Clash, they picked a Diana top, and then I talked to Cali Trolls afterwards, and he's like, yeah, it's just not a good champion. I don't know why I picked that. So they'll learn from this mistake and learn from that playstyle and be like, we have to change what we were doing because they changed something that was working for them originally.
All right, well, we will see. We will see if it is a second 3-game comeback in one day, or can teammate close out the series. We'll find out in a moment as the spring promotion tournament continues. Stay with us.
One more time, baby. We're excited, right, baby?
I am excited,
baby.
Resonating strike coming through. There's the teleport from Cali Trolls, though. Is he going to be able to get back? There's the flash. Westrice going down solo, baited by the heal. Porpoise Box managed to pick up that kill. The exhaust immediately onto Proly, but Robert actually, he's got so much damage. Dodo's getting ripped apart. Maple Street, watch out for this gigantic Lucian on your backside. Now that it's a 5v3. Oh, Westrice coming in. That takedown did so much damage. Dodo now is going to get culled. Robert Exley on a killing spree.